Well, Tony was walking around holding a football, so naturally I need to try to knock it out of his hand, as you do when someone's walking around holding a football.
But he never fumbles. No.
Yeah. You did fumble.
Well, you broke my hand.
Well, you fumbled it. I was trying to get a clean swipe at the football, and I wasn't looking, because if I'm looking, it's too obvious what I'm going to do. So I looked away, and then I did a quick chop, and I went to hit the ball.
Peanut punch?
It was more of a chop than a punch, but he chopped, instead of chopping the ball, which was in my right hand, what he ended up doing was chopping at my wrist with a fist.
No, we
which
did
wasn't
wrist,
great. It was
we did
kind of like
wrist
this.
to wrist, and now we both may go on the IR because it hurt like shit. The
My
ball fell, though.
my brother, this is since childhood, my brother has thought it funny when someone is walking with a plate of food to just knock it out of their hands. Knock it up in the air.
That's awful.
Not
it's
funny
straight-
for anyone.
no, it's
He
straight-
knocked books out of kids' hands at school,
behavior.
didn't he?
It's straight assholery, but Billy,
Does he clean up the mess?
you being the guy who wanders around the office trying to punch out a football on Tony, who has never fumbled, is
He fumbled a moment ago.
Yeah, but you broke his wrist. I mean,
everyone was injured. That's what it takes to get Tony to fumble when he's walking through, because he's expecting you to emerge with a no-look peanut Tillman punch. He's waiting for it.
The problem was, too, Dan, that I was actually doing fake handoffs to Billy of play action pass. So the first time I did the play action pass and then I held in his hand.
You're the running back who was trying to make him fumble, Billy. You're his running back and teammate, and
I
you're
didn't
trying
know
to...
we were on the same team. It wasn't evident to me that we
when
were.
I put it in your belly and then I took it out, that's obvious that we're running an RPO.
Well, right before me estaba criticando, if I'm going to be honest
Don't
with you.
even start.
So I felt
Don't
like, you know
even
what?
start with
If
me.
he's in a place to criticar, I'm going to knock the ball out
After
of your
what you
hand.
said to me, I don't know if we could be friends.
What did I say?
he
Wow.
doesn't care if you're on the same team.
What was he criticizing you about,
Everything
Billy?
and anything. That's what's happening around here
not
today,
true.
around these parts. I come in, I just try to do my job, and you're eating gummy bears, you're a kid, you look fat.
Fat.
All these things. It's just what I deal with, you know? What did I say to you that was so bad?
What? I don't even know if I could say it. How hurt it made me feel. Actually, if you want me to be a little vulnerable, it made me feel hurt.
Is it what I said that I said there's a lot of new hires around here? You better figure out what you're doing? Was it that?
That's exactly what you said.
Wow.
It made me feel bad.
You want a hug?
That's
Yeah.
that's
From Billy though.
that's knocking over someone's food levels of harsh, man.
Billy.
Yeah.
Are you telling me, Billy, this is aggressive by you?
Yeah, that's
That we are in an environment now where there are 40 damn people running around here because movies are getting made and the business is growing, and you just threatened Tony with there are a lot of people here who can do your job, and then made him
I didn't
fumble?
say that. No, I didn't say there's a
Keep
lot
your
of
head
people
on a
around
swivel,
here.
Dan, you
that's
just
all.
said that.
Yeah, you said I would never.
wow.
Also,
It's
I have no
it's
power.
ratcheting
So.
up.
I didn't, Billy.
Mean
I
guy.
just said to you that eating gummy bears in front of people was childish for me. I didn't question everyone else's employment status.
Yeah,
I
but you
didn't
were
question
judging.
his Look, if anything, I said it. Look, it was the equivalent of this.
We're looking.
It was
Two
the
looks.
equivalent of this.
Pone los patines.
You know how Antonio Brown tried to leak that text from Tom Brady to make him look like a jerk, and it's like, oh, Tom Brady was really like nicely telling him get your act together. That's kind of what I was doing with Tony. Not to compare myself to the greatest of all time, but the same day I was compared to Jesus. But you know, just looking out for him.
It really backfired on Antonio Brown to send out a message of Tom Brady's that seemed of a really concerned, caring friend, meant to make Tom Brady look bad, but seemingly making Tom Brady look like he's the only one willing to speak freely and honestly to an Antonio Brown who might be surrounded by yes men. You were trying to do good work for Tony to get him to realize that we're hiring a lot of people.
Yeah, Billy, what were you doing?
Sometimes I just talk and then I figure out the motivation afterwards. You know?
Yeah.
Like just before that, we were trying to get Mike Fuentes to come up with a slogan for us because Tony just wants a slogan to be "Why not us?" And I said, not a good slogan. Everybody does that. So we need to get Mike Fuentes to come up with one because now Gino Fuentes is here and there's a battle between the Fuentes brothers. So I said, you know what? Mike is the one to handle this, but if he's not, then we may be Gino men. You know what I mean? It's a Seahawks situation all
it
over
is.
again.
It really is.
Yeah.
How's the useless sound montage today that you've been working on since 5 a.m.?
It's a you know, I'll give it a B.
Oh, wow.
Is there a star?
There's 3 stars. Well, like a star in the thing, not how many like gold stars I would give it. Derek Carr, yeah, I think we've played that already.
It
Derek
seems
Carr.
like Russ is a star this week. I saw his press conference. That's why I'm saying.
There's a couple people, obviously Tomlin's in it. Aaron Rodgers makes an appearance. He's not always in it. There's some, you know what? We have a new entrant into the proceedings because we have a first-time head coach.
Oh, Jeff Saturday.
Oh, yes!
Well, did you guys see Pat McAfee went crazy told Bill Cowher to shut the bleep up, went after Joe Thomas, called him a puppet because McAfee is a Colts guy, and McAfee was saying Jeff Saturday went out there and made the opposing quarterback cry. Because Derek Carr broke down. McAfee is out here to be public emotional Colts supporter.
Yeah, I love it. He also played a clip of Joe Thomas on his show talking about
wanting to be an interim head coach of the Browns.
Yeah.
Can we take a step back for a second and appreciate that we're commenting on a show that was commenting on a show
that was commenting on a dude who
Yeah.
used to be on a show.
It's really like the degrees
Well, we
to
do.
this because we have sound from Chris Rousseau also who went crazy
Rousseau?
about this whole thing.
Canadian?
Mad Dog.
I mean,
Mad Dog.
Show.
We will play that sound
Chris
as well.
Rousseau.
Indianapolis Colts, more like Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. Gets it.
Wow, that deserved a better fate.
I don't even
That
get
was
it.
some BS.
Like with a
Explain
U,
the
a
joke.
cult. Because they're all
Cult.
protecting each other from
Oh, a cult.
cult humor. And the horse, Colt with an O. Get it?
I do get it now, actually.
Let's see if we can hear Saturday's hairy torso giving sound in the middle of this.
I'm appreciative of the win, appreciative of the efforts. A lot of fun in the locker room, man. It's just good to get the job done. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate it. But we also understand it's not anything mystical.
Not easy to win in the National Football League, so we cherish each one of these as we go.
Last week was definitely a low, rock bottom-ish, for sure.
There was moments where we all played great in certain moments, but we have to do that more.
When you get in situations like these, you have to fight your way out of it. There's no other way to get out of it other than fight your way out of it.
There's some things that I know we can do to be able to get better, and I refuse to think anything else other than that. But I also want to see some of those things start to come to life and bear some fruit, and we got to be able to do that. And it's not one fix, but there's a lot of different things that we have to be able to do better.
The reality is that we still have opportunity to answer these moments.
The only field goal attempt I think I've ever attempted in my life was my freshman year in college, and I drilled the left guard in the back of the head.
It's one thing to believe you can do it, and then it's another thing to do it.
Things that need to get fixed need to get fixed.
I'm not going to blink on that.
Or any extra motion because it's Mike on the other sideline, get to beat him and get that chance to play against him.
I don't think Mike suited up tonight. Got to check the stats here, Tom. He didn't.
We had opportunities early in the past game. I just wasn't good enough.
Good to get a win.
I'm being honest when I say that I don't read anything.
His grit, his toughness, how physical he can be, how strong he is, that's what makes him a special player.
Everybody needs to look at themselves and say, what can I do better? And if we do that, we'll get this thing turned around.
I knew what my role was, and I was going to execute my role to the best of my ability, and I was going to allow all of those men to do the same.
You have to be able to overcome adversities, and that can come in many forms, like I said. And when you do that, you'll see it. You'll be like, okay, there it is.
I can't speak for everybody, for every man, what's going on in their head, but I can tell you what's going on in my head, and I'm going to give it all that I can every single time.
It's been tough. It's been tough, but we're not going to give up. That's for sure.
I'm just pissed off about some of the things that a lot of us try and do just to practice.
In football, you got to weather some storms.
What we put our bodies through just to sleep at night.
It's still a long season, and we have to control what we can.
And for that to be the result of all that effort pisses me off. Pisses a lot of guys off.
A lot of the battles that we face are between I, between the person that can go out there and dominate and knows that they can, and the little voice in your head that tries to knock you off of that confident perch you're on. So happy that I knocked that voice back into hell.
Saturday broke Derek Carr and made him sound like Elvis.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I laughed. That's why I was laughing.
sad Derek Carr, put it on the poll, please, Guillermo, at LeBatard Show. Does sad Derek Carr sound like Elvis Presley? Because he does, and it's so unfair what we do to athletes. Care the most. We want you to care. If you don't care enough, we care more than you. What? You're taking pills that make you sleep at night because you're crying? You care too much, Derek Carr. We're going to make fun of you.
Amin all week long has been straight up laughing in the face of Derek Carr's tears.
So funny. It sounds so
it's
funny.
Not, though.
It's
He's
hilarious.
bearing his soul in public.
It's not, but it's like one of the most absurd clips I've ever heard in my life. And I feel bad for laughing at it too, but my initial reaction was to kind of just be like, what?
It's a funny sound when he says the things that we have to put in ourselves.
Yes, inside of ourselves. Like I
want to hear it again.
Can you play it against also, speaking of taking pills, the Elvis Presley famous sound that we play around here?
Can you also play the sound of Mad Dog and of Pat McAfee too?
Any other requests while we're taking?
Also give us a look at me, Louie.
Could we get Baby Hit Me One More Time?
We'll do all that tomorrow.